Hey, hello. Let me invite Natalie and a few people to speak. Hello. You guys see my request or my invite? Sorry. Natalie, Zareen, Garazan, you should all be seeing it. Hey. Hello. Hello. How are you?
I'm super fine. I thought I wasn't making it, but here I am. I'm glad to be here.
Nice. Cool. Let me just add Zareen as well. Hey, Zareen.
Hello. Thank you.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Very good, actually. I'm gonna prioritize some of the people that were haven't spoken. So you guys and Hyper Icon, I'm sending you a request as well. I don't know if you guys can accept. Let me see if you can see it. But in the meantime, whilst we get people joining, so this is I guess, the second time we do one of these. The idea is to have an open forum and conversation to speak about the residency program that we've been running at Vertical Crypto Art for the past 6 months. This is the second cohort that we've been doing, so the second group of artists that are part of this program. And it's actually almost coming to an end, which is pretty unbelievable. So it's 12 weeks of program with 8 weeks of education classes, resources, mentors that are being shared primarily all online on Discord. And then the last 4 weeks are dedicated to kind of the, let's say, creation phase. And we end up each of the programs and the residency with an exhibition and an auction, which takes place in Arium Spaces. And actually, I can see Dan from Arium is here. So, hey, Dan. Yeah, so I guess like the idea for this is first to spotlight some of the artists that are part of our second cohort and to let you guys introduce yourself, speak about your work, and also, speak about what you've been doing in the residency so far, maybe some of the things that you've learned, that you've thought about, that have been like useful, and then just kind of like leaving it up to questions and just getting people, if there's any questions regarding like the residency, but also like questions in general, very happy to take those. So with this said, I think I will hand it off to start some of the introductions, some of the artist spotlights. Natalie, do you want to kick it off?
Thank you, Miguel. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Well, I'm an artist from Mexico City. I'm an oil painter and digital artist. I've been minting on the Tesos blockchain, and recently I've been doing a lot of portraits, single line portraits. This residency for me has been important in many ways. I think the most important is the people I've been meeting, and the doors that open to relate to other very well people who know a lot and who on top of it are really nice and approachable. The things I've learned, I mean, I still need to digest a lot because it's a lot of information. It's really nice to have an overview of everything that has been the history and the marketplaces and all the opportunities in museums and stuff like that. Also, the security side, there were many things I wasn't aware of, and I've been commenting them with people in the Latin community and in other communities, and they were not aware of them also. So I think that is super important. Regarding architecture, I really need to study more because they've given us a lot of information, and I really think I need to make the most of it. But mostly what I'm very interested in is all the generative art options that you've been making, for us to learn about. That is so awesome. And the ER and VR is just amazing. I mean, it's so much information and so many possibilities that, yeah, I need to go through all the material because it's a lot of information and a lot of people to get to know and learn from. I think that's it. I just recommend anyone to apply because I think it's super important.
I think just to kind of like touch on some of the things that you said and maybe give a bit of context as well for the people that are listening. So I guess like the program kind of like touches on a lot of different topics and aspects of let's say the NFT ecosystem and in general kind of like metaverse native topics. So we start with like an introduction on what is crypto art and like the context of crypto art, where does blockchain based art come from. So we have an introduction with art gnome Jason Bailey, who some of you might know from Twitter and in general from his presence in the space. And then we kind of like go into more like context setting with some of the different like marketplaces that are in the NFT ecosystem, what each of these marketplaces do or can do, how they are different from each other. We then touch on like curation in the NFT space, and then go into like more specific kind of like topics such as metaverse architecture. So we have like tours of all of the, let's say, main kind of like metaverse worlds, such as Somnium, Crypto Voxels, Decentraland, etc. And then more specific kind of like nuanced topics and skills, such as, how to work with like Touch Designer or 3D Blender, or how to code, yeah, all sorts of things really. We also have some very special art critiques with one of the mentors, which is Harry. He's actually in the audience as well. I don't know, Harry, if you want to actually come up and speak about it. I've invited you to speak. But yeah, basically it's a moment where kind of like the artists confront themselves on their work and talk about their work. Critique might sound like a very harsh word, but actually I think it's a very useful way to provide feedback for yourself and to others, and just have a moment to kind of get together and understand what other people like think about your work and how you can improve, which is a really really great way to interact with like your fellow residents and also learn more about your practice. Yeah, so also something to add, Natalie, I think a few of you can see like my portrait, my profile picture, Zareen as well, Garrison, who's in the audience as well, and yours. These are like profile pictures that have been commissioned from Natalie, which are specific to your kind of practice, one line drawing. I don't know if Natalie, you want to speak about that a little bit.
It's yeah, well, there are many aspects of one-line drawing that I like. I think that the main ones are, well, the challenge on my part, but also for me it's really important that what I create is like a part I give and a part that the observer participates in creating too in their mind, and I love the one line for that. It's also like a meditation. When I notice when I'm watching it, and other people have told me that their eye is constantly moving, and it's like soothing. I don't know. There's so many aspects I love about that, and well, right now I'm a little bit booked, but open to collaborations, commissions, everything.
Awesome, thank you. Zareen, hey.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, the residency for me has been really amazing. I was in this space for a couple months, of course, before, and I only had like an idea of things. I would just hear things and stuff. So once the residency started, it seemed like a kind of what Natalie was saying, what you were saying too. It's just a really good foundational for upon entering the space, and really evaluating the artist's craft as we're hearing what the mentors, like, it's very cool. They're sharing their insight and their experience, and it's very nice and humbling. And so, especially the amount of work that's been done. And so it allows, I work in analog, so it's been very nice and challenging at the same time, seeing how to navigate this space. What can one contribute? What are the possibilities, and where we can go with the things that is happening in this space, and as it continues to evolve. And then also hearing from our peer, learning also from my peers. It's been really nice, and I've been telling everyone about it, all my friends, and I've been telling them to do it, because I think it's just it's a really good, just foundational understanding of everything, and the community as well. I was really inspired by the community before, but this residency has really begun to show me the possibilities, and I'm just really happy about it.
Do you want to kind of like introduce yourself a little bit and like your work and what you do?
Yeah, okay. So I work in analog material. I work with recycled materials, and for the past couple of years, I've been I'm a Kashmir American, so I've been just curious about my family's heritage and culture, and these things that are very precious to me, and they're to go extinct. So you must enter the fight for things which you appreciate when you see them decaying. So this is what motivated me initially, and then I found the NFTs space, and I found it interesting because I just started making this video art of the stop motion animation of these things I would create, which would be interpreting these ideas I was collecting and creating, so that's what I've been doing, and then I will accompany this video art with either Foley art that I've created from just like nonsense sounds I've created around my house, or I'll ideally try to collaborate with Sufiana Kashmiri traditional musicians from the Valley, because I just really like their music, and it's another, just in general, traditional crafts of Kashmir are just, at a decline. So I just thought it would be really cool. So sometimes I'm able to do it, and it's really cool. And so it's been really nice being able to connect with people from that region as well in a creative way. And yeah.
And is there anything kind of like that, I guess maybe you thought about during this period, like the residency, or like in general, from being like in the space specifically, coming like from more of an analog practice, that you kind of has shifted maybe like your perception of how to navigate the space and what to do in terms of like your work?
Absolutely. It's been so amazing learning about 3D modeling, and especially now where we are currently at this moment in time with the metaverse really taking off and stuff. And it's been, of course, challenging, but I'm so motivated and inspired to see how to translate this like physical medium into this new space, and just seeing what kind of new experiences that can be created and collaborated with other artists and stuff, because we're at the beginning, of course, and so everything is still so fresh and new, and so much can be done and explored in this time. So I am starting to evaluate the softwares and stuff that the mentors have so graciously taken the time to explain to us. And I mean, it's a lot of information too, but I know I can feel myself like after this residency, I'm going to, once the information has begun to settle and marinate a little bit more, I'm very much looking forward to exploring how to do 3D modeling and transferring these physical handmade creations into a digital format, and seeing what kind of things can be made with others in this space, because I'm too scared to do it alone. And I don't know. So, but I'm very excited. Yeah, that is, I think I hopefully answered the question.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Thank you. Stefano, hey,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Good. Thank you, Michael. Hi, everybody. I'm Stefano Contiero, a generative artist from Italy, and I also need to mention I'm half Dominican, and I try to convey with my practice what I experience every day in reality. I'm very, very happy to have taken part of Vertical Crypto Art residency. I think any artist that's interested in doing NFTs, this is the place to be. It's incredible the amount of knowledge and things you learn, but also the mentors. It's people that have been in this space for so long that actually created the whole NFT ecosystem and crypto. And personally, I've learned so much that I can't wait to put it back in my practice. I think one thing that I really liked and enjoyed is the whole 3D VR metaverse thing. I can't wait. I also already started doing some kind of experiments on how can I bring my practice to the metaverse. Because I truly believe that's the future. In 10 years, probably we will all have our visors, and our reality will be augmented by this thing. And it's super, super exciting to learn from people that actually help it. They are helping shaping this whole new reality.
Also, I did see your work in Miami at the Digital, which was super cool and amazing. So yeah, maybe like I don't know. I guess like maybe also talk about a little bit about like your work, and maybe also
Mhm.
the inclusion of like Frammenti, what you've been doing. I think it would be interesting.
Sure. So far, my let's say career as a crypto artist began on art blocks. I was lucky to be selected to be part of their official collection, the curated collection series 3 with Frammenti. Frammenti is a piece that it resonates quite a lot. It's kind of a reflection about memories and our life. It's pretty much a simple piece where different shapes get fragmented in many pieces, and gradually they kind of explode in a myriad of roaming pieces. And that's kind of me trying to express my vision of life, but memories, because we are made by a lot of different memories that kind of shapes our daily life, and who we are in ourselves, our perception, personalities, and so on. But we are also mortal, because one day every one of us will die. And what will remain of us? And for me, it's the memories that we share with others. And yes, pretty much this is what Fragment is about.
Awesome. And is there anything that you're working on at the moment, or that you've been, let's say, like thinking about, maybe
Mhm.
something that you're exploring as well within this time during the residency?
Yeah, so as I was mentioning, I'm starting trying to create some VR experiences and experimenting a bit and creating in the metaverse. I think, as you mentioned, we'll be having an Arium exhibition at the end of the residency, and that's one of the tools that I found incredible so far. One of the one that I was able to try, because I still dealing with my full-time job, but uh, I created this little space, little gallery for myself, and I guess from next year onward, I will focus a lot on creating those kind of experiences, 3D, VR, maybe some AR as well. And one thing that I'm really passionate about is trying to give work that I've already done a second life, because to me, one of the beautiful things of NFTs is that you can bring those everywhere in the metaverse. So I'm started thinking, how can I kind of augment the experience of my collector with the pieces that they already have collected? there's not much I can share so far, but that's hopefully something that I will be able to present and talk about in the next months.
Nice. Yeah, I think VR and AR are definitely like two really still pretty much untapped like spaces in the metaverse specifically. I think some applications we're seeing them currently, but specifically I think even like with metaverse experiences, like it's such a there's so much potential that can be done, and the way we interact in the metaverse, I think, will definitely change in the next couple of months and the next year. But yeah, as you were saying, like just to kind of like quickly touch on the Arium side of things, I briefly touched on it before, but we do kind of basically the way we did it the last time, and probably going, I think, going to be the same this time, but it's giving an open canvas for the artists that are part of the residency to build essentially a space in Arium, which we have already, and kind of recreate a metaverse experience, an online gallery where the work that they will be producing and then auctioning will be showcased. So, for example, the last cohort, the first cohort, we created a gallery, which was done by Chagri and Walt, who are two of the artists of the first cohort, and we did like a dome. It's kind of like a building that essentially like looks specifically like a dome, and inside of this gallery there's actually a portal which leads you on to another like metaverse gallery, which was done as a collaboration between two artists called Walt and Callan, who did uh, almost like a conceptual kind of like piece of art, which is really cool. And so we integrated that into like the final exhibition and the final auction. So the possibilities in terms of what can be done in Arium and how can each of you and each of the artists that are part of the residency showcase their work, whether it's a performance, whether it's music, whether it's art, are really um, infinite. And it's just about, I think, imagination and kind of like putting it into practice. But Dan and the team at Arium are also like super flexible and really awesome to work with. And actually, almost like I know Dan is listening, but I think it's true that I can speak for this, but almost want us and the people that experience Arium as a space to push the boundaries of what is possible within that same space and what can be done and how people can experience the art, and not only the art, but just the event, like the live gathering of people in Arium and in the metaverse, which I think is like super extra cool, and one of the reasons why I've worked with them and keep working with them for these sort of things. Cool. Actually, talking about performances, Hyper Icon, hey.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
I'm Connie, half of the Hypericon project, where we create with Sebastian. We are media artists based in the south of Chile, dedicated to generative art with machine learning and creative coding. Also make sonic art. I don't speak very well English, so I hope that what I say is understandable. The residency, it has been very interesting to understand the different subjects that make up this artistic space, to know perspectives of curators, creators, and collectors, in addition to getting closer to techniques that have been enriching for our creative process, such as touch designer and processing. And it has made us rethink the way in which our work can be exposed, as VR spaces and also NFTs could be presented in the material world, especially when our art is made in digital. And that.
Awesome. And I remember you spoke a little bit about kind of like doing more of like performance and like music, which is some of the areas that you also do, right?
Yes, we make live coding performances, so it's very interesting to us to think how we can have this creation on the NFT space, has generative art, and for the residency itself, we are investigating the possibilities of exposed codes and that thing of exposing the codes of creation, it's part of the ethics of live coding also, and that it's something that allows an integral and educational interaction with the techniques, so it's very cool.
Nice. Will we see some of it in the final exhibition of the residency, maybe?
Yes, it's we are very happy to share our work and performance in live too.
Awesome. Super cool. We have a few other people from the second cohort as well. So if you want to come up and introduce yourself, also from the first cohort, actually, I can see Dugoots and Octavio and Murat. So feel free to request to speak and I will add you up. In the meantime, I don't know if there's any questions from the people that are listening about the residency program, what it is, how to get involved. Feel free to ask anything. More than happy to answer these questions. Just to kind of like share some of the details, because I think I haven't said it yet, but basically the current residency program is ending in January, more or less, and we will be opening applications up again for February 2022 start, more likely soon. So in the next couple of days, we will open an application form. It will be posted on this Twitter, so Vertical Crypto Art Twitter. And if you're on our Discord there as well, so if you're not currently on our Discord, just make sure you join. There's a link in my bio. And yeah, the application form is fairly easy. There's just kind of like some questions around your background, your commitment towards the program, and also what you're trying to get out of it. Ideally, the residency program is, let's say, like dedicated towards creators of all kind. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in the definition of artists, let's say. It can be musicians, it can be, we have like poets, for example, it can be writers. So any type of creative background, but definitely with an interest in obviously like NFTs, like learning more about the space, and also for people that maybe are newer or newish to the NFT ecosystem, as it is a program that kind of touches on the very basics, and also not, but it does cover a lot of different aspects. So yeah, there will be an application form. It is fairly easy to apply. It will be all of the applications will be reviewed by myself and by all of the mentors that are part of the program. It's around 25 mentors, so it's not only me deciding, but it's also everyone else that is involved too, to make sure it's as unbiased, as diverse and inclusive as possible. And the idea, as maybe you've kind of like listened to some of the people, is to really foster like inclusivity and diversity in all shapes, whether it's creative backgrounds, whether it's country, whether it's in general, really trying to foster a diverse community and making sure the program is as inclusive as possible. If there's any questions, anything at all that you'd like to ask, feel free to let me know now, or just DM me as well. I'm always, my DMs are open, so always happy to answer some questions. Vitaly, hey.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome, nice. So we didn't have you last time to speak, so I would love to get your introduction, know a little bit more about you, and yeah, talk a little bit about your work.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Vitalit Sirenkov. I'm visual artist from St. Petersburg, Russia. I work in different media, digital and analog. I create paintings, murals, sculptures, and digital art as NFTs. So I currently focusing on minting on Tezos, and I'm creating interactive artworks on Hikantnang, or a platform that called Hikantnang. Yes, and I'm very happy to be part of this residency. It was amazing last 2 months. We had a lot of classes. Almost every day we learned a lot of new things from history, from the basics, and towards some specific topics. And I highly encourage everybody to apply. And yes, it's amazing experience. And the most important thing that I've heard about a lot of things like metaverse architecture or VR or other things, but after each class, lectors give us new perspective on these things and how artists can interact with these possibilities, use it in their practice. And after every class, I had a thing that that's awesome. I want to learn it, but where I don't know how to find time for everything. So I decided to go step by step, and after some classes with Rafael about generative art, I decided to start with learning P5.js, and for the last few weeks I was deeply absorbed in discovering and learning coding, creative coding. Yes, and it's I'm very thankful for the residency, because I had idea to start learning P5.js before, but these residency classes give you the starting point, some basics idea, tools, and learning materials that it's very nice to have that push to finally start learning these new areas. So yes, I'm very happy, grateful for this opportunity. Yes, almost every evening I have classes, and it's very cool. It's amazing.
Nice. That's so cool to know that you're learning coding. We had so all of the resident artists have 2 classes at least with Sable Raf on Twitter, Rafael de Courville. And he's definitely like a great teacher for creative coding. Goes through like P5.js and processing and the basics, but also actually like more more advanced, also depending on like who is in the cohort, who are the artists, what type of knowledge or background they have. This specific cohort has different types of knowledge and backgrounds. So obviously, like people like Stefano and Hypericon have more background into like generative art, but others like Vitalit, for example, Pierre and a few others are still kind of like in the very basics. So it's also interesting to see like these kind of like mixed creative practices come together, and how different creative practices and artists like approach these topics. So that's cool. Yeah. Awesome. I can see there's like a few other people in the audience. Pierre, I saw that you joined. If you do want to come up, just please like request to speak, and I can add you. In the meantime, hey Garrison.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Just want to basically like copy and paste everything that everybody else has said. It's like a great opportunity to connect with others in the space, especially for me, because I don't know anybody in real life who's into NFTs really, or crypto art or anything like that. So being able to connect with people from around the world who can share their knowledge and insight is something that's so new and in flux is pretty valuable, I think. And there's a lot to kind of consider in terms of opportunities and in terms of like new processes for my creative artwork. And it's kind of overwhelming, but at the same time, that's kind of something that's good for me. That I have to kind of pick an avenue to go down for a new, like creative coding, for instance. I'd love to learn about that and the and more things that I can do with it, because I think that particular discipline will help me, because I'm a musician and a visual artist. I think something like that would allow me to better kind of merge the two in a way that would be interactive for a brand new audience. Not that I had an audience to begin with, but maybe a new audience will generate from any new avenues that I could go down. So it's been valuable, and I've been happy to be here. Thank you.
Is there anything maybe like I don't know, surprising that you kind of like found out, or
yeah,
oh.
Mikkel, if I might,
Hey Pierre.
I'm here.
Yes.
And speaking about surprising things, I was reflecting on the residency, and I was telling myself that a lot of things are happening at a subliminal level. So I am working on new projects for 2022, and I realized that, I mean, without doing this like knowingly, I have been influenced in so many ways by what I heard from the speakers in the residency, by watching other artists at the residency, and everything like, mixed, and we got so many new creative direction that are happening in a completely unplanned way. So definitely, these are a lot of surprises and benefit we got from the residency. So thank you again, Mikkel, for this awesome residency.
Of course. And actually, whilst you're here, maybe you can speak a little bit about like your work also, because it's maybe like different as well from like other types of like some of the work that we've heard so far, and some of the work that you do and how you've approached the space as well.
Okay, thank you, Mikkel. So I'm using language, so I did not consider myself as a poet or a writer, although I am using primarily language in my work. So I was using language in the visual arts realm. So I am fascinated by the way we see language. A letter for me is first and foremost geometric shape. And society is assigning value to these letters, and it means words, and it becomes language, and it becomes meaning. But what if we disagree with the meaning of this geometric shape? What if these geometric shapes are just what they are at face value, just a geometric shape? So that's how I approach my work. And I was very happy and very surprised that crypto poets came to me and said, "Hey, Pierre, we see you as a poet, as a crypto poet." And it never occurred to me that my work could be considered as poetry. But I was very happy. I was very flattered to be part of this brotherhood and sisterhood of crypto poets. And now I am considered as a crypto poet, and I'm really happy about that. So I didn't choose to call myself that way, but I am. I think it's wonderful to be part of something that's bigger than you. So I keep exploring words and language in our real world, in the metaverse. I'm also exploring the relations of power in our society, how power and politics interact, where are the relations of power in our daily lives, whether on planet Earth or when we will explore new planets. So I'm keep doing this using language, and I have a lot of new ideas for next years and the years to come that have been definitely influenced by what I have seen and experienced in the residency.
Awesome, thank you, Pierre. And actually, it's very curious and interesting as well, because both you and Callan, who was in the first cohort of the residency, Callan is also the founder of now the Verse, which is the pinned tweet on top, which essentially is the place and the space for literature, poetry, crypto writing in on the blockchain. That both of you kind of like started together, met through the crypto writer Discord, and now have been part of the residency as well, which is exciting and fun to see how you interact within the space in a very different way than usual, than, you know, let's say like the definition of art per se. I think we also have Christian, who just joined. Hey.
Hey, how you doing, Miko?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was actually finna go to this hobby museum real quick, but now I just want to talk about the residency. I just want to say like it's a good opportunity to learn. I just been learning from like the fellow residents and all the mentors. Like I actually haven't released no work. I'm still working on mine, but I had like the critique that we had did where it was like we got more insight on like our work from our peers and stuff. So allow me to like take that info, then apply it to my work. So yeah, like it's just been a good experience, and I appreciate everything.
Awesome. Do you want to like give a brief introduction of you and like what you do before you head out?
Yes, thank you. So I'm a self-taught illustrator. Like I was doing more so like on paper, micron pen, crayons, like color pencils. And then like when I found out about NFTs, like around this time last year, that's when I like went to the like using Procreate on the iPad. 'Cause I seen people doing that. I didn't even know about that. So I didn't really know how to digitize my work besides scanning it at the time. So that's what I went to. And yeah, I'm from the south side of Atlanta. Like I said, self-taught. And yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to like keep pushing pushing it forward, like on the digital aspect, and learning how to actually animate and other aspects like 3D stuff as well. But yeah, just still trying to learn. That's pretty much like where I'm at with it.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, I think we went through everybody who was up here and wanted to speak. There's a few other people. If you do want to say hello, come introduce yourself from the residency specifically, please request to speak and let me know. And yeah, in general, if there's any questions about the program, feel free to raise your hand. Oh, we do have a question or somebody. Hey, Jack. Jack, are you there?
Hi. Oh,
Hi.
hi. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I had a bit of a technical hiccup. Yeah,
No
really
worries.
interesting work, guys. I'm just clicking on all of your icons, and there's some really cool stuff. I'm mainly a print artist and illustrator. I tried to self-publish some NFTs on Hicketnunk, and I didn't have a lot of success. So is this residency something where you go into in depth a lot about the business side of things, or is it mainly sort of a commune, a digital commune?
No, we definitely go quite deep into a lot of different topics.
Oh,
So especially if you're, let's say, approaching the space or quite new into like the NFT ecosystem, there's a lot of different areas that get covered, whether it's marketplaces, whether it's different blockchains, whether it's safety and security of NFTs, how to approach the NFT ecosystem, what to do. Yeah, so it's there's a lot of different areas that get touched on. So would definitely recommend to keep an eye out for the application coming in the next few days if you're interested in it.
Yeah. There was another. My other question was because I primarily use 3D. I'm starting to use more generative art form stuff. A lot of Max MSP as well now. But usually I just do 3D illustration, and it takes a long time to sort of get each piece finished, which I found has been like massively incompatible with Twitter, with Twitter and like Instagram and everything, because it takes me so long to create a piece of work. It sort of takes. It seems like I'm not doing much, but actually it's like I'm breaking my neck. But do you consider that a factor really with NFTs? So I just thought that might be something that slides into the marketing aspect, because NFTs is such a sort of a hot topic right now. It's a fast marketplace. I'm guessing it's a fast marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you say that. I think actually the what you're talking about, or maybe like describing, is the idea of like FOMO, or like missing out on things that we kind of like see on Twitter as well. Like, I don't really believe that NFTs per se are
Okay.
a fast like marketplace. I think it's just how you approach them, and I guess like being in if you're in this Twitter echo chamber where you think that everybody is producing loads and loads of work one after the other, you might get a bit stuck into thinking, oh, I'm not doing anything. But actually, like, everybody has a unique practice, and doesn't necessarily mean that if you produce one work a month or 12 works a month, there's any real difference or benefit, or that should be, prioritized like in any way. I think it's most about doing what you do best, and making sure that like you're producing work that you're happy about, and that you're confident to be able to show to the rest of the people. Like, I think in general, like this idea of NFTs being like very fast paced, yes, for sure they are. It's not really NFTs, it's like the crypto sphere in general is very fast paced, and so we get into this idea that if we're not doing something every day, and if we're not doing, whether it's like artists or even myself, then there's something wrong. But actually, there isn't. It's okay to
Oh
like
no,
work
yeah,
and
yeah.
not be like, posting things every day or minting a new work every hour, let's say.
Yeah. No, it's good to hear because I definitely I try and get a strong portfolio rather than just a big portfolio is sort of what I've always tried to do. Yeah, it's interesting. Thanks.
Yeah, maybe some of the artists here, some of the speakers have something to say about this as well.
Okay.
What do you guys think about this kind of like NFT fast-paced ecosystem? Anyone? Pierre, Stefano?
Personally, I think at least what I do is thinking in the long term and long run. I don't
Yeah.
think NFTs are going anywhere soon. And if you get caught into thinking, I need to put art out every day or every other week, at the end of the day, you will get stressed a lot and also kind of devalue your art because you will just try to keep up with the market, and that's impossible. I think in the past months, we already have seen so many projects arrive. Every other day, there's a new project and so on. Meanwhile, if we focus more in 10 years, trying to kind of prioritizing our art practice, it might be more sustainable in the long term, but also more valuable because looking back, you can really see your artistic progression and your career in NFTs. That's at least what I'm trying to do and try to think of.
That's really it's interesting. It's sort of it's a new marketplace for me, and it obviously digital. It does move faster than print, but yeah, NFTs is new and sort of interesting to me. So yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you. Mika? Hey.
Well, hey, I was just thought I'd come to the stage. I wasn't really going to say anything, but I also I did feel like a few months ago, maybe 5 months ago now, that there's such an intensity to everything going on, and this idea, because things are on Twitter and a lot of marketing is done there. There's this idea of things getting lost in the chaos, as it were, because everyone's minting. There's a lot going on, but I think it's really, really unhealthy to follow that plan. It's like looking at Instagram and seeing someone's great life or something and thinking you're supposed to lead that. You can go down a very weird route. And I found myself trying to slow down as much as possible to actually get a grip, like, and get my own pace with what's going on. Because when you see like 100 works being minted like a week or a day or whatever, it's actually 100 different people. It's not the same person like producing so much. So you can get a little bit lost in this, thinking that everyone around you is actually moving at a lot faster than what they really are, I think.
100%. I get stuck in that all the time, so I can completely relate. But I also think that's also why, like, having like a community or like a group of people that you can just kind of like hang out with, ask, like, communicate, that is a bit of a, let's say, like a safe place as well, can be like a really, really beneficial, especially within this ecosystem where if you're like mostly working on your own, doing your own things, being on Twitter, being on Discord, etc., you might get a bit in your head. And so having like people that you can just like chat to or like communicate with, and just hang around with and have a bit of a exchange of like feedback and thoughts can be, I think, very beneficial, like mentally and also like as for your practice as well. Cool. So we have like a couple of minutes left. I don't know if there's any more questions or thoughts as well from any of the people who are listening. Feel free to, come and say hello. If you have any questions for me, any questions from the people that are speaking, for the artists,
I have a quick question, actually.
Go for it.
It was actually about the exhibition, and because I don't know if I've read it like recently, but when is the actual exhibition being planned for?
Yeah, so we'll chat about it tomorrow during the kind of the gathering that we have together, but it is planned for January. Let's say sometime around like the first or second week of Jan, when kind of things get back to, let's say, normal after the holidays. So yeah, sometime in Jan, mid-Jan, let's say, we'll have like the exhibition, like the final auction for the residency. Cool. Club Multiculti. Hello.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? My name is Cindy, and I'm a newbie for the most part in the NFT space anyway. I've been creating art, design, writing, just doing a lot of just creative stuff for years now. And I'm trying to kind of incorporate all of those aspects into my art. And so it's a bit tricky for me to kind of maneuver or like find my way. And so I guess I'm just wondering, or I'm curious as to like what kind of work or what kind of artists are is vertical crypto art particularly drawn to, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. So I'll speak for the residency specifically, and what kind of like artists we onboard into the program. As I mentioned before, it's not really about the type of art or creative practice that you do or that you have. So as I think if you were around for the talk, like you've seen, there's quite a diverse set of people and artists that we've onboarded into the residency. So it's really more about, I think, commitment and interest in learning, being part of a community, applying yourself, engaging with the mentors, engaging with the classes, and just really like exchanging some kind of like, some kind of like thought, ideas, like feedback into the program as a whole. So obviously, like the idea for the program is to really become a community. Like all of these the artists that take part in this residency spend quite a lot of time together listening to classes, but also like online on Discord. So the more active and participant you can be, the better it is for you as an individual and as an artist approaching the program, and also in general for the program too. So like there's examples of some of the artists from the first cohort that went on doing collaborations together that are now constantly like collaborating together, which is really incredible to see. And I think that's almost like, everything you could possibly like wish for a residency. A lot of them are constantly like chatting to each other. The Discord chats are very, very active. So I guess it's like it's participation and like actively being wanting to be part of this community and this program.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
And that seems to be, I mean, I feel like that's the right way to go anyway, to kind of do it organically, to make connections organically rather. I mean, I think that's probably one of the most important ways to get your work out there, to spread the word. So got it. Okay, so Discord, very important. Okay, I'll try to be more active on Discord in general. Thank you, guys.
Sure. Ned?
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all fine. I have a specific question for you because I'm following the residency from some time now, and I find it really helpful and interesting that such a supportive space exists. What made you decide to dedicate yourself on such a good cause?
Great question. Really, it was like a mixture of things. I think like when I started, when I founded like Vertical Crypto Art back in June of 2020, one of the things that I always dedicated myself to, whether it was with like the curatorial videos or some of the work that we were doing, was to elevate emerging artists and emerging creators. So I've always, let's say, been very focused on giving like space and eyes and storytelling, some of the great art that I was specifically like seeing, whether it was Rarible at the time, Hikat Nunk afterwards, Known Origin, and many of the other platforms. So naturally, I was always in that path. And then as we evolved, as the NFT ecosystem like evolved, I thought, especially with some of the conversations that I was having with artists, and some of the one-to-ones, kind of like meetings or like chats that I was having, that there was a need for a dedicated program and a dedicated, almost like an incubator, which could allow for like artists, new or not new, to have some form of structure into like knowledge, resources, tools, but mostly like also like really connections, because I think some of the biggest thing from the residency is actually connecting with other people, whether it's artists that are part of the residency itself, but also the mentors, and having that possibility of learning from these mentors and learning from other fellow artists as well. And yeah, that's kind of like how I started it. And it was really a test, an experiment with the first one. And I think it went really well. And so now it's ongoing. It's an ongoing program, and it's going to be ongoing, and hopefully scaling it more and more through the time.
Thank you very much. Yes, I completely agree with you because the NFT space is sometimes cold and it definitely needs such a community to be built around and to help emerging artists.
Awesome. Cool. I think we're at the hour. So I mean, as I mentioned before, just to kind of like recap, we will be opening the applications up again for the new residency cohort number 3, starting in February 2022. So just in like a month or so, in this week. So keep an eye out on our profile. If you're not following Vertical Crypto Art, do so. Hop onto our Discord. I do share like all of the updates there too. And yeah, I hope to see many of your like applications there. And thank you very much for listening, and thanks for all of the artists that hopped on and introduced themselves. We'll be doing a few more of these, and obviously we'll be doing the final kind of exhibition and auction in January too. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.